So in this tutorial, I'm going to explain about Git branch. Okay, so I have gone through this documentation about Git branching. You can also go through it, read about it, so you have more understanding about what is origin master and master branch. Okay, so right now, let's see this picture over here. So imagine that this one is your remote repository, right? So this is the first commit, and this is the second commit, and this is the third commit. Okay, so let's say when you have created a remote repository, so let's say if I create this test repository, right, a new branch should be created. So this branch master is actually just a pointer, okay? It's actually just a bookmark saying that this commit is pointing by the master branch, okay? So when someone else pushes other commit, the master branch of the remote repository will keep track of the commit and it will point towards this particular commit. And someone else pushes again the commit on top of this one, the master branch should again keep track of this particular commit, it will point to this one. Okay, so why do we need a pointer to point towards the commit? So this is because, so let's say when you clone this remote repository, Git must know that at which point you want to clone, right? This is why branches pointer is being used, because when master branch is point towards this particular point, and when you do a Git clone, it will by default download the master branch, which means that it will download from this particular commit. It will know at which point it should download the commit for you to your computer. Okay, so this is why we need branches. We need a pointer to point towards the commit. So after that, so let's say go towards this picture, you can see that in your remote repository, the branch when you created remote repository is called master. But the moment when you clone the remote repository in your computer, this master branch in your computer is called as origin master. Alright, the origin means that it's the remote URL of your repository. So this origin, it's just a, you can assume that it's just a variable name that it is being assigned the remote URL. The remote URL is this one. And because you clone it from the master branch, the origin is append with a master. Alright, so let's do it. In this test repository I have created, I'm going to clone this one in my test directory. I'm going to do git clone. So this will clone the entire test repository. I'm going to change the test, and then if you do git log, you'll see that the master branch from the remote repository right now is renamed as origin master, and it is being pointed at this particular commit. Okay, so after that, Git will create another pointer for you, which has the name as the branch of the origin that you have cloned, which is master. Because you have cloned a master branch, Git will create another pointer in your local, which is called a master branch. Okay, so you have a remote branch pointer, which is origin master in your local, which is pointing towards this particular commit, and you also have another local master branch pointer, which is pointing towards this particular commit. Okay, so this local master branch pointer, it will keep track of the commit that you make locally. Okay, so this origin master pointer, it will point towards the commit, which is pointed by the master branch in the remote repository. Okay, so right now, let's say I'm going to make a commit in this test remote repository. So let's just call it as test1.txt. Okay, so notice that in your remote repository right now we have two commits. Alright, so in your local repository, your origin master, let's do git log, is still pointing towards this particular commit, because the commit that is just created in the remote repository, which is this one, test1.txt, is not yet being synchronized in your local work area, right? So in order to synchronize the commit in the remote repository and your local, what you got to do is that you can do a git fetch origin. So origin is the remote URL that you have cloned from just now. I'm going to do git fetch origin. So let us do git log. You can see that right now the origin master pointer is no longer point towards the commit of your local of this particular commit. Okay, because it has synchronized, the data tag, which is this particular commit, is being fetched into your local, and this origin master pointer is point towards this particular commit. Okay, so if you want to see it, you can do git k negative all. You will see that this data, which is test1.txt, is being fetched into your local, and your remote origin master branch is pointing towards this particular commit. Okay, and your local master branch, which is used only to keep track of your local commit is still pointing towards this initial commit. Okay, so this is the difference between the origin master and the master, right? The origin master is used to point towards the commit of the remote. Whenever you synchronize it, you point towards the commit of the data that you can synchronize from the remote. Otherwise, it won't move. It will still point at this particular commit. So in order to let us do git log, you can see the master branch of your local is pointing towards this particular commit. I'm going to do git rebase origin master, which means that I'm going to synchronize your local master branch to the origin. Okay, so this you place your master branch pointer and you fast forward your master branch pointer towards the commit which is pointed by the origin master. So let us do git log. Right now your master branch local is pointing towards this particular commit and your origin master also point towards this particular commit. Okay, so right now I'm going to make some changes in the test1.txt. Let's make some changes and then I'm going to commit it. If I do git log, you will see this is your local master branch is pointing towards this particular commit, but your origin master is not pointing towards this commit because your origin master will only keep track of the data from the remote repository. So Git right now only has this data, this one, which comes from the remote repository. That's why the origin master branch is pointing towards this commit. Okay, so this is the difference between your master branch and your origin master branch. Okay, so if you want to synchronize your origin master towards this particular commit, what you can do is that you can do a git push origin master. So this will push the commit which is pointed by your local master branch to the remote repository. So let's do it. If you do git log right now, you can see that origin master is pointing towards this particular commit. So why? This is because right now Git knows that you have pushed this particular commit towards the origin, towards the remote repository. Let's refresh it and you can see this commit is in the remote repository already. And Git knows that this commit, since this commit is in the remote repository, so the origin master, which is the branch of the remote repository, it knows that the data of this commit is in the remote repository, so that's why it's moving this origin master branch pointer towards this commit. So you can see how this origin master branch will only keep track of the data that is in the remote repository. Okay, so thank you so much for watching this tutorial.